Other little kids, they saw me in my costume and they cried. So, um, so I had to cast the only child I knew who was 5 years old, little girl who wouldn't cry, which was very, so.
That's so sweet. Are you proud?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm always proud of her. I think Brad and I both find it so funny that she's in a movie. You know, she's right now. She's just lost all her 3 front teeth, and she's in her pajamas, and she's just this goofy little wonderful person we live with, and that she's being talked about on a news channel is just silly to us. It's funny.
Oh.
It's it's your baby. So.
Yeah. And quite, was it stressful having, I mean, because they travelled with you pretty much the whole
Yeah,
time,
they're
don't
here.
they?
They're here.
Are they? So was it more stressful having them working on set because they're with you, I mean, pretty much anyway?
They were on set almost every day anyway. They were playing in the Fairy Mound and hanging out with it's one of the great things about doing a Disney movie is you get to have your, it's so exciting for your children and you get to play and you never have to seriously think about your work. You actually want them sitting around the camera, so when you do your big crazy things, you're entertaining them, and it's more fun. So I think most of my performance is simply trying to entertain my own children.
Humanitarian work is well known. You're very dedicated to that. It started back with Lara Croft, didn't it, in Cambodia? Is that where it first sort of started for you?
I think it was the first time I was in Cambodia. It was the first time I realized, I think we all have that moment in our lives where we kind of really question how much we know and our education and what we've been told. Mm-hmm. And we realize that we have to do our own digging and our own research and find out what the truth is really for us. And at the time there was a lot of violence happening in Sierra Leone, and so I did a lot of research, and then I asked to go to Sierra Leone, and I went, and it was the first time I was in that kind of a situation. My whole life changed. I realized how sheltered I'd been and how fortunate I was, and how and I felt horrible for ever having been self-destructive or self-pitying, because in comparison to what people really go through, I'm so blessed, and I just felt a responsibility to be a better person.
Where's the toughest place that you've been to and the toughest stories that you've seen? And is there a particular place, or is this something you see world over?
I think that's part of what is the hardest thing, is that 12 years ago I started to visit refugee camps, and I had this thought of, we're going to help return people, and we're going to bring awareness, and we're going to help end wars, and we're going to, and the numbers have only grown, and then you have a crisis like Syria, that everybody, you visit the border and there's 60,000 refugees, and then you go back and there's 1 million, and then you go back and there's 2.7 million, and now there's 9 million displaced, and and the world's aware, and we seem just unable to help these people. When I visited refugees who've been twice or 3 times displaced, I visited Palestinian refugees in Syria, and then met them again.
Same people.
In Jordan.
At the moment, it's a very important subject given what's happened in Nigeria, this extraordinary
Absolutely.
story of these children missing. I know you've talked about it, but how does one prevent that happening, do you think?
Well, I think part of the reason that this happens is these men believe that they can get away with it, because in the past they have. And I think that they see women as disposable to them, that they don't believe they have a right to education is a horror, and on top, but to believe that you can take them as property and sexually assault them and sell them, and it's something from the dark ages. It is just so horrific, but it's not isolated to Nigeria.
Lots of people wouldn't take on the kind of responsibilities that you do. How do you do it, for starters? Because you've been directing a film, you've been acting in your film, you've got your children and your family. Is it sharing? Is it teamwork? What is it? What works for you? I'm not I'm so lucky that I have a job where I'm able to bring my children to work, and that I'm able to work a few months out of the year and do something like Maleficent, and the rest of the months I can travel. I have a very fortunate life and a partner that helps me, and the means to do so. There are so many women out there that don't have a strong partner, that don't have financial means, that have to work 2 jobs. Like, I don't know how they do it with grace and strength. My life is, I just have to schedule things properly and make sure I don't get overwhelmed. But other than that, I'm very fortunate. Lots of people will want to know how you are health-wise. They'll be concerned about you. Are you well? Yes, it's very nice that they would be concerned. I'm very, very well. I feel very happy that I made the choice I made, and I will follow up with the other surgery at some point, because my mother had breast and ovarian cancer.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to have started, my life now is very much having, I meet so many women, we talk about these issues.
And you've changed, I mean, so many people have done what must be a tough decision because of what you've done as well. Does that feel a weight on your shoulders to have inspired that or not? Or is that a good thing?
I received a letter the other day from a woman who said that she got checked and found out that she had it, and she'd already been through the surgery, and she's home and she's happy and she's with her kids. And if just for that letter, just for that one, that's very moving to me.